Have you ever had one of those days on site where you got two team members and it seems like they're at each other's throats all day? Everyone thinks it's a complete train wreck and everything's coming off the rails. Well, here's why it might actually be a good thing. Conflict isn't chaos. In fact, it's the fuel for growth. And here's how you embrace it without burning bridges.
And the truth, here's the truth. For us as leaders, the greatest failure of leadership is a lack of courage. A lack of courage to say what needs to be said.
All right, here's the truth, an unfortunate truth that you're not going to want to hear. It's all tied to the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is when you really need the skills to be able to do something and you don't have them, you don't even know that you don't have those skills. Truth is, everyone's heard of, seen, talked about, used a war room. Unless you've done a war room, run one, for a period of 3 to 6 months, 90 to 180 days, every day, without fail, you don't know what good looks like. I'm going to show you what a good war room looks like today. And I'll show you what an exceptional war room looks like. Right at the end of this, I'm going to play you like a couple of minute video of what an exceptional one does. I'm going to show you what happens, what's the neuroscience. I'm not a neuroscientist by any stretch of the imagination, but I've done a lot of study on neuroscience behind getting people to engage in a war room, which is probably the most important thing of the lot. I'm also going to have a look at the 12 causes, as you can see just there, of project failure. Most people don't even know that that exists. That is, there's 7 decades of data telling us where we're going wrong. Yet we continue to think that we're smarter than it. We can outsmart it, and we don't need to worry about that data. Now have a look at those 12 causes, exactly how you can use a war room to mitigate each and every one of them. All right, so let's take a look at why I get to speak to this is because I have done it. I've run a war room for probably 9 months plus on site. Every day that I was there, running the daily stand-up, doing all the things they're going to speak to on this board in a minute that mitigate the 12 causes of project failure. So this is the infamous war room on the Cool and Tell project. Here's something funny about this. And when I say the Dunning-Kruger effect and you don't know what you don't know, even when you've been in, and why I say that you need to have been in the environment for a sustained period of time. We brought someone in. There was a little project this side and there was an operations team on the other side. They were having trouble with an outage, and the the executive general manager actually said to me, Benny, can I bring one of this team across to have a look at what you do, see exactly what's in your war room, this war room right here, see what you do, attend your daily meetings, attend your stand-up, so that they can take that back and transfer that across. Yeah, not a problem. No worries at all. Someone came across, stood in the meeting, had a look at all of it, saw it, experienced it, went back. You know what they did? They put a whiteboard up in their war room. Well, I actually ended up taking over their war room in the end. In their war room, over the other side. And you know what happened with that whiteboard? 4/5 of 5/8 of you know what. They never actually used it because they didn't understand what we're going to look at here in a minute, which is, didn't understand, the Benny isn't on the right, these 12 causes of project failure. Actually, there's a 13th one that we're going to speak to as well. Stop, moving. I need a smarter radar than the one that I've got. My one I already got is pretty smart, but I need a smarter one. All right, so what's going on here? Visuals. All those posters on the wall aren't there because I like pinning posters on the wall despite what many people think. In fact, I've heard people say, one of the guys that worked me on this one, tongue in cheek, said all Beanie does is wander around site, sprinkling fairy dust all day. And to the untrained eye, it might seem that way, because they don't understand what is actually going on and how powerful this process is and how powerful this room is when it's set up properly. Key word there is properly. Set up properly and used properly. This is the most invaluable piece of real estate on your construction site, wherever your team is. Okay? Big screen telly. We used to do a lot of the schedule updating up on that big screen telly. We actually rebuilt schedules. People standing around there looking at the telly with a scheduler. The schedulers used to sit in that room with me. You just see that was my desk right against that end wall there. And you see there's desks starting to come down these walls here. All the schedulers and my superintendents sat in that room with me there. Nothing that's on that desk, apart from the coffee cup, which is essential for me, is there for show. It's all there for a very specific reason. Posters are on the walls to set standards. One on the door that you can't read says something about no schedules worth the paper it's printed on unless it gets to the people in the field in a version that they can read it to show the collaborative planning that's gone on. Below that meeting in progress sign shows when we introduce more people into the system how complicated the lines of communication get. Little exercise there called a paper cup. Can you build a paper cup to show just how quickly communication goes astray? All those posters on the wall are from Jason Schroeder Elevate Construction. They all serve a different purpose, different processes they're put in place, how to run meetings, how to do handoffs in the field, how to prep areas, how to close them out so that we're not forever punch listing. The books are all there. Create a learning environment. Scrum will always be there. Legacy. In fact, I don't know that I actually had this book on no job. I was thinking just the other day, if I could only take one book, one chapter of one book, I had to go and do a project, it would be chapter 17 of this, the Afterburner Advantage, which is the ADHD, what it calls the ADHD version of the flex process. Okay? There's a couple little screens that are there, the books, the football. There's always a football, a cricket ball you can see there. You probably can't see the marble. That's how we size tasks. They're all tools, all visual triggers that enable everyone to be able to see exactly where we're going and get, as Patrick Lencioni says in the book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and get everyone headed in the same direction. We can build any project under any circumstances at any time. Dominate it. I butchered that completely, but you get the point. Along the other wall there were the whiteboards, where all the schedules got printed up and put up all the time, where all the tracking, progress tracking happened. That's the minimum. Minimum standard is that. You need a big screen telly, you need whiteboards, you need posters on the wall that set and hold standards, and you need books and some prompts. Whatever, props. Whatever they happen to be. Conversation starters. You know how many conversations that football and that cricket ball started in that office? Hundreds of them. All right. Let's have a look at the 12 causes of project failure and how we use that room to mitigate all 12 of them. But more tech. I was saying to one of the guys that I was working with the other day, he's looking at what I've got in my room now. So I've got more tech going on in the Silicon Valley startup. He says, you have been. You have. Right. 12 causes, project management. I call that the 13th cause, the word management. That's a 1911 word that we need to get rid of. Project delivery failure. By Dr. Eli Goldratt, Theory of Constraints. As I said, this isn't stuff that's made up, thought up. People think might be a good idea. This is based on over 7 decades of data. He says in this book here, which is Theory of Constraint Handbook, another one that sits on my desk on site. So it's probably more like 8 or 9 decades of data now. Number one, lack of planning, they say, is the number one cause. I don't know if these are actually in order, but let's say that they are. So lack of planning is the number one. In a war room, planning becomes a daily habit. It's visual. It's up on the wall. We run this sequence right here. At the Afterburner Advantage. The sequence that we run is, we do a weekly planning session, which talks to objective, threats, resources, lessons learned, courses of actions, contingencies. We brief every morning, a morning stand up. Look at the big picture, restate the mission objective, identify the opportunities that we got and resources, execute our course of actions, and flexibility. What are our contingencies if the things go wrong? In the afternoon, we do ORCA to debrief. Boards are set up, whiteboards, look just like this. And there is a whole lot of neuroscience going on behind this board. If you do nothing else, you take nothing else away from this video today, and you just set yourself up a board on site in your war room, whatever you decide your war room will be, like this, you'll be stunned at the progress that you'll make. Today's date up the top, the objective. What's the objective? Well, there are top 3 things that we need to achieve in this shift. We've got to be a hot dog or not a hot dog. We've got to be able to say that we did them or we didn't do them. We need to be very descriptive around that. Then we speak to the results. What results do we get trying to execute those? Okay, what caused those results? The top 3, all right? We know we've got some problems. These causes, these 3. What actions are we going to put in place to stop these 3 happening again? So again, what is it? Definition of done. Who's going to do it? Single point of accountability. People are responsible for something, no one's responsible for it. When are you going to block out the time to do it? Don't say, yeah, I'll get it done. When? When are you going to put time in your calendar to actually do it? What's the probability of you getting that done by tomorrow? Because if you tell me 50% and it's a high thing that we need done, high urgency, high priority, you tell me you only got about 20% chance of getting it done, we need to have a look at a contingency. How are we going to help you get that done? When you start it, when you complete it. We have rules of engagement up there. As I say, the poster's on the wall. Early is on time is late. Everyone knows that you come to my meetings, you turn up on time. If it starts at 6 o'clock, I'm starting at 6. More than likely, I'll start 2 minutes to 6. If I think that we've already got everyone there. We use it's nameless and rankless. It's not a finger pointing exercise. It's not a blame exercise. It's like, what problems have we got? How do we remove them so we can move quicker? Use radical candor. I've said at the start of this video, conflict isn't chaos. Personal attacks aren't acceptable. Play the ball, not the player. Be hard on the process, not the people. If it doesn't add situational awareness, don't say it. I'm not here to, this is not a little social gathering. It's not here to put opinions out. We're talking the facts. We want signals. Signals that tell us where we need to improve. I intend to. Don't flag something up to try and palm it off to someone else. You saw it. What do you intend to do about it? We make a pact instead of a goal. I won't go into the neuroscience behind that. If you want to have a look at the book, Tiny Experiments, and Laurie LeCunff, go and have a look at that. Pact is, we'll do ORCA for 10 days and we'll track that progress. 15 minutes a day we're going to spend doing a debrief on the ORCA process so that we don't end up with lack of planning. So we're not failing from like that, like the 12 causes of project management tells us that we will fail if we don't do anything about it. Should have put that comment up too. Have you run an ORCA with your team on site yet? Hot dog if you have, not a hot dog if you haven't. All right, that's how it mitigates. Number one, lack of planning. Number two, I'm going to be extremely unpopular with the project management fraternity on this one, because number 2 is the project manager. We've loaded this person to the point where it's near impossible for them to be able to get through everything that they need to get through in a shift and keep everyone on track. That's the reality of where we are in the industry at the moment. The war room, I like to call it. Someone at the moment tells me I can't call it a war room, so we call it a project delivery cockpit. It's run by a wingman, not the PM. Not going to give him another responsibility to try and do this. The perfect person for it is someone like myself. Sits in the project controls, or when I did this on that site that we're looking at before, it was called an integration manager's role. Okay? That person needs 3 key skills, a couple of which I'm using right now, funnily enough. So, the wingman needs to be able to, 1, good at plan and prioritise, funnily enough. Number 2, need to be able to do social, video, extreme competence. Right? This is the highest form of leverage that I have. Right now, I'm educating my team on a Sunday on what's coming next. This is how our war room's going to look like. This is how it's going to run. Number 3, need to be able to build and maintain culture, standards. That's what we're doing here in the war room as well. So it ticks that box. We give the project manager the support. The war room, when run properly, or the project delivery cockpit, gives the project manager the support that he needs to be able to run the project, deliver the project. Shouldn't be the project manager, in my humble opinion. Should be the project delivery lead. Project delivery lead, their job is, again, the org chart should be inverted. People at the front line at the top, everyone is a support layer below him. Project delivery lead being right at the bottom, his job is to support everyone. Wingman sits to the side, going, hey man, just like Boo talks about, pilots have a wingman, project manager or project delivery person, lead, they need a wingman as well. Okay, so mitigate 2. Number 3, project changes. These slow because of the transparency that gets created. On our board, we've got our whiteboard. Be a little bit differently set up for our brief. This is why I run a couple of whiteboards, right? So I want a brief board, an HGAP board, and a debrief board. This is the ORCA. This is the debrief board. We've got the objective at the top there. These are the 3 things that we need to hit. Someone comes in and goes, forget about that. That's not priority anymore. We're moving all the resources over to here. Guess what Boney does? Walks up to the board. So this was the objective. Sitting right here. Times 3. 1, 2, 3. They're out. Something new's in. Right. Date. Name. Reason. Put the date up there. Righto. You want to change this priority. Shift. Can't shift priorities without shifting resources, which is going to impact the whole schedule. Okay? Put the day's date up there. Who wants to shift this? Fred wants to shift it. Righto. Fred's name goes up on the board. Fred's go, hey! Guess what? You're going to make the call to shift it. That's fine. Your name's going against it. What's the reason? Give us a reason. Then we're going to take all of that and run that against a critical path. Show what the impact is. What the real cost, time and dollars wise is. Change is slow because you now got signals, what the time and the cost is going to be and the impact's going to be to this change. That's a signal, not noise or opinions around, we have to do this because of X. Right? Let's have a look at how that impacts the whole thing, the whole schedule. Number 4, poor scheduling. As I said before, in most projects that you go on, the schedulers sit, this is a good question to ask right now. Where are the schedulers sitting on your project right now? Are they in the war room with the planning and the scheduling and the decisions that get made? Or are they sitting on the building, the other side of the site, in a corner somewhere, pumping data into a P6 schedule, which has no reflection of what's happening out on the job? Schedulers, they were their desks, behind mine, along that wall. They all sat in that room. They all heard the meetings that were going on. They all heard the discussions with the supervisors. They saw the supervisors come in and do their progress updates daily. What we also do is we use what's known as a TAC plan. So it's quick and easy to update. We don't need, if we don't have access to the scheduler, let's pull one up here for you. We've got a quick, easy way to be able to, without diving into P6 and breaking 1,000 links and all the other nonsense that we try and do. Quick, easy way to be able to schedule what's going on. We can see, say, electricals ones, and we need the mechanical guys coming behind them there too, and then we need the scaffies behind them. Right, so then we need the electrical to go down there, work on that job. We can start sequencing and scheduling with the TAC plan in minutes, not hours. Our war room is set up with that big screen telly, remember? Guys can jump in, have a look and go, hey, if we move the logic around here, if we did something with the sequencing, what's the impact going to be? So we use TACT, which P6 doesn't do this, by the way. Not simply, easily, so we can do this and then show it to everyone and everyone can have a look at it and quickly and easily understand what's going on. This is the whole idea behind the war room. Should have said this at the start. This is based on Scrum. Anyone should be able to walk into the war room, walk around it, and in 5 minutes, know exactly what's going on everywhere on the project. We use TACT, which syncs tasks, resources, and people. It's simple, there's no need for P6, and it stops the scheduling in isolation, the poor scheduling. Right, I'm going to go to 4 of them so far with the war room. Number 5, skills of the team members. The skills of the team members, guess what happens with them? They go up. What did you see in my picture before? Books, marbles, footballs, cricket balls. We're giving people, upskilling them. Simple, usable skills that they can take and use across the job to engage them, to improve the job. We create a learning environment. This is where I use the platform called School. It's exceptional for that. We'll have a look at that later on. We'll keep going with this for now. All right, we need management support if we're going to nail our project. This builds confidence because the team value is visible. I've told the story quite a number of times, that executive general manager that I was talking about before, he used to come to site. First thing he used to do is jump out of his car, and I used to say to the boys, make sure, my schedulers, their first job in the morning was to pull the data for night shift, get the data sheets for night shift, update the progress. That was their first job. Then they were supposed to print the run sheets and put them on the board, because I used to have the run sheets for every area, what everyone was working on, up on the board, where everyone can see it. Progress against it, so there's no ambiguity around who's supposed to be working on what, when they're supposed to be doing it. It's up on the wall. Everyone's singing off the same page. It was a tax system, for want of a better word. It was just an Excel run sheet, but it was still a tax system. Not perfect, but it was good enough. He used to come straight in, because he used to see all the posts, stuff I talked about on LinkedIn, like I'm doing right now. This one would have caught his attention. War room needs to be set up like this. He would have got the highlights. He's a busy man. He wouldn't have sat there and watched the whole thing. But he went, let's go and see if Beanie's doing what he says he's doing, or he's just talking nonsense. Just come in, see the sheets on the wall, the updates, the posters, people coming and going, talking, updating, progress, schedulers. He goes, these guys are working as a team. I forget, we had a conversation one day and he actually said to me, what do you do? What's your theory behind what you're doing here? And I said, have you ever read the book, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team? He goes, I know the 5 dysfunctions of a team very well. So they're quite up there. That's what I'm doing. If you get all the people in an organisation rowing in the same direction, you'll dominate any industry in any market under any circumstances at any time. So if we get everyone heading in the same direction, we build this thing. No dramas. We'll get around. Excuse me, whoever gets thrown at us. Built confidence immediately. Team value is visible. That's the reason why I do video the way that I do. Funding. Can't build anything without money. Dashboards provide 100% transparency. Here's one that I'm actually creating at the moment. And I haven't put it in there yet, because always when you get on a project, oh, you can't put that information up, you can't show this and you can't show that. Just think of it, the data that you're going to show from a cause effect perspective. So what we'd actually do, where? That's War Room, Claude, ORCA. We've got so much stuff going on at Mox we need. Okay, it's a little dashboard that I built. What I would actually do in here for funding, for money, is I'm going to put a little 2 progress bars. So there will be progress bar 1, progress bar 2. There's the percentage complete, the project. So we've done that much. And then percentage budget used. And that will be line up. I'll show you that in a sec. We'll zoom in on it, okay? That's what will go on there. So this has got a couple of things going on here. It's got that PVR over there. PF is nonsense. PVR is measuring our velocity. How quick are we moving? Are we improving or are we going backwards? There's so much gone on with hours and norms and PF factors. No one even knows what an hour's worth anymore, or what a good hour looks like. Things have changed so much. PVR manages a trend. Project velocity. There's a couple of key indicators in here, full kit, and we're making sure that we are getting everything ready before we start. Our handoffs getting handed over from day to day. Most important one is this bottom corner down here, engagement. Are we engaging our people? Which is exactly what the War Room's designed to do. As you might have guessed today, this is not a slick pitch. This is down and dirty, show you how to use, get this set up right. As you can you see that there or not? So that's what I would do with the money. What percentage is the job complete? What percentage of the budget have we burnt? Are they in line? Are they offline? Someone give me a thumbs down there. Probably told them too much of the truth that they don't want to hear. Doesn't matter. All helps the algorithm. All right, dashboards provide 100% transparency. Funding's looked after. Cost containment. We're doing all these things right. We're looking at global optimization. which is what's good for the overall project, not just what's good for one little area of the project. What happens is, because we've got everyone engaged, everyone headed in the same direction, like the book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team says, smarter ideas start to surface. We've got everyone engaged, smarter ideas are surfacing. Guess what happens? That drives cost containment. Resources. We've got smarter utilisation of our resources due to our visibility, what we're doing here with the attack plan. 9 of them. Information management. Everything's mapped by flowcharts. How do we do a progress update? There's a flowchart. How do we get our timesheets in daily? There's a flowchart. What's a day for a supervisor look like? What does he need to get done in a day? Flowchart. The key flowcharts are on the wall. Who needs what? By when? How they get it? On the wall. Everyone can tell you. There's no ambiguity around it. What needs to get done? Information management comes into line. Incentives. People are motivated by seeing progress and the fact that they can see the big picture. Global optimal. We actually use a platform called School to create engagement and incentives as well. Actually, let's go have a quick look at that right now. Let's pull this up. Box. The key to this incentives is engagement. So what happens inside School, this little platform here, we can post updates, we can be sharing stuff from the war room, because not everyone from out in the job can come in and have a look at what's going on in the war room, but we can run meetings via video so that they can all see them. The meeting that's called Operations Intelligence, just like the one that we're running today, funnily enough. What happens in this little community here, where I'd build this on a site, is that it has what's called these leaderboards. So as people get engaged and put their ideas up, smarter utilisation, we improved this, we did this, our crew's done that, all goes on these leaderboards here, which we pull that data, funnily enough, pulls into here, into this engagement section. Incentives don't have to be cash. Well, cash is nice. None of us ever going to knock cash back. There's other ways to create incentives other than just money. Last one. Lack of continued risk analysis. What's that little process that we run? Beanie's on like day 154 of doing it in a row. This is why I get to speak to the fact that I know how this stuff works. I don't just talk about it. Done ORCA, 154 days in a row. I think there's probably 2 or 3 of those that I haven't live streamed out of that time. ORCA, objective, results, causes, action. That is a risk analysis. It's gap, midweek. Where's the gap between what we plan and what we've said, what we've actually done? That is risk analysis. These are all on the whiteboards in the war room. So I've done it. We've mitigated the lack of planning. We're helping the project manager out, mitigate that. Got our project changes are slowing, we're mitigating that. Fix the poor scheduling piece. Skills of team members are coming up. Management support is coming up. Funding's looking after itself. Our cost containment's coming under control because of everything that we're already doing. Our resources, we've got much smarter utilisation. Information management is mapped by flowcharts. Everyone knows who needs what by when, and how they get it. Incentives, we've gamified it, for want of a better term, and we've mitigated lack of continued risk analysis. Where are we up to? All right, let's do our daily ORCA then. Let's pull that back. That's a bit horrifying, being that zoomed close in on Boney. That's what we run inside the Catalyst Academy there. Inside the Catalyst Academy, we focus on 3 of these 12 causes, which is lack of planning, poor scheduling, and lack of continued risk analysis. You can do that from in the field. Created an ORCA AI app, whatever you want to call it, with Claude there that you can use to do all of that. We don't talk about what it might look like on a construction site like we're talking about at the moment inside the Catalyst Academy. Catalyst Academy is where you do it. Bring your problems, your real problems. Get 90 ORCAs under your belt. That's what the Catalyst Academy is about. Then we move into what I call the Stealth Team Lab, where we mitigate these 12 causes, project delivery failure. We'll know more about those. school.com/scrum/about. Right, haven't seen an ORCA before. We're just about to run one. This is our continued risk analysis. ORCA live. Ready to do ORCA, Claude? Didn't put ORCA in there. That's all right. Pretty sure he will pick up what I'm putting down. Right, 2 questions for today. Where are the schedulers sitting on your project right now? In the war room? Or in a room in a separate building somewhere across the other side of the project? Have you run an ORCA with your team on site? Hot dog? Yes, you have. Not a hot dog? No, you haven't. Home. It's been a pretty good session today. I've enjoyed this. That's what good war room looks like. Don't be fooled. You know how hard it is? People think when you get really, really good at this, like it was like that guy said, Ben just wanders around and sprinkles fairy dust all day. Okay? When you know exactly what you need to do, you'd be surprised how little that there is to do. Are the really important things that you need to focus on. 9% of everything you do every day is waste. 10% drive the results. You know how hard you have to work to make it look like to everyone else, the perception from everyone else is that you're doing nothing? Extremely hard. I've been doing it since I was 15. I'm 54 this year. Just starting to really get the hang of it right now. And then people tell you that you say, oh, we need to set a war room up, run a war room. But yeah, we know all about a war room. No, you don't. You don't have a clue. Explain to me what the 12 causes of project failure are, delivery are, and tell me how you're going to mitigate them on a daily basis. Step me through your process. If you really understand it, tell me that. That's what you need to say to them when they try to tell you, we already know, we've already done it, we've tried it, it didn't work. Tried it and didn't work, it's because you don't understand it well enough. You know it, don't understand it. Very shallow depth of understanding. Welcome back. Step 1 is the objective. We're locking in exactly what we set out to do today. What was the objective today? Objective today was to run the O&I session, which was the 12 causes of project failure, project delivery failure, and how to mitigate them with the war room. Good objective. Run O&I session on 12 causes. Did it happen? Yes. This is the last part of it, running the ORCA. Well, actually, this is not quite the last part of it. The last part of it is I'm going to show them what an exceptional war room looks like. Good, so the session is still running. ORCA is part of it. How's it tracking so far? Well, 1.3 video. I've either upset someone or they don't agree what I'm talking about because they gave me a thumbs down. But I'm going to say that it's been a good session so far. One thumbs down doesn't kill a session. If the message is right, not everyone will agree, and that's fine. Exactly. The accusation order exists for exactly that reason. How did the 12 causes land with the audience? We'll see this week, mate. There was a couple of people that hit the attending button, and it's Sunday afternoon, right? So people got better things to do their time than listen to Beanie talk about 12 causes of project failure. But I'll be interested to see what the feedback is this week. Fair. Sunday afternoon is a tough slot. The ones who showed up chose to be there. Are you close to wrapping up or do you still have the War Room showcase to run? Nope. We're just about done. Soon as this is done, I'm going to play them like a 4-minute clip of what an exceptional War Room looks like, and this is done and dusted. Let's close it out then. What made today's session work? What was the thing that drove the quality of today's O&I? This is the Dunning-Kruger effect, in effect, because it gave me a clear understanding. I say to people, you need to set a war room up, and they don't really understand what I mean by war room, which is why I'm showing them. So they don't know what they don't know. Understanding that helped me go, all right, let's take 12 causes of project management failure and see how the war room offsets every single one of them. So I had complete clarity on what I was trying to do. The objective was extremely clear and it made the messaging clear and be able to hit the mark. Talk for too long. There's your root cause of the win. Cause, crystal clear objective, going in and knowing exactly what the audience didn't understand meant the message could be built precisely to close that gap. That sets in plan communication, specifically objectives and communication. One action to lock that in as a standard for every O&I session going forward. There has to be one key objective for every session. What are people going to take away from it? Perfect, that's the standard. Before every O&I session, one question. What is the one thing the audience is going to take away? Can't answer that before you go. Live, you're not ready. What is the objective for tomorrow? The objective for tomorrow is I need to get this whiteboard set up for my own team to run flex off of daily. I was supposed to do it today, but I've parked it till the morning because this was more important today. That could wait till tomorrow morning. Objective for tomorrow, set up whiteboard with a flex format for the team to run daily. 26 days, O&I session landed because the objective was razor sharp before going live. One question before every session. What does the audience walk away with? That's the standard now. See you tomorrow. All right, talking about standards. This is the most exceptional war room you will ever see. If you've seen a better one, I'm keen to hear about it. It's about 4 to 5 minute video, which I'm going to play right now. Take it, use it, start mitigating the 12 causes of project failure. If you only do one, make it be ORCA, which will fix lack of planning, poor scheduling, and lack of continued risk analysis. Speak soon.
Welcome everybody out to another video on the Lean Superintendent YouTube channel and LinkedIn channel. We got Josh over here. Josh, how you doing, my brother?
Good, how you doing?
Let me just real quick show the grandeur and majesty of this room. So these weren't that expensive, right? These were like $2,500 a piece.
Yeah. Yep.
And you've got your little, not little, holy cow, what am I doing? You've got your command station over there. Take us through this, if you don't mind. I was blown away at your war room here.
Yeah, so logistically, it's pretty simple. We've got one desktop computer. It's an Alienware. It's a nice computer to be able to support all of these screens. At one time, when we were in the heart of this project, we had another screen on each side. And we call this our VDC room, Virtual Design and Construction, because it started with, this is where we would do all of our BIM coordination, clash detection. It's really turned into a war room. So we've had, we have meetings in here with schedules pulled up, and we're able to, I'm able to come over here, look into them. We've got the model pulled up with somebody driving it to point to this, and then look on the floor plan and say, this is where we're talking about. I'm able to come over here and pull up the schedule and say, this is where we're impacted. I'm able to have the job site cameras, since we're a mile away from the site, to say, this is where I'm talking about. It's really, from a tool perspective, it's given us the ability to just, do all of our planning in this room. So it's been a huge tool for us.
Okay. And so confidentially, has anybody ever come in here with a case of beer and watch football?
No beer, but I will say, when come Masters time, I tell you, even our client says, hey, can we get each golfer on the screen, or, can we get hole 16 put up here? And so I will say the Masters, supported quite a few.